Have you ever stood amidst a raging storm, feeling the wind's wild dance? The rain's relentless rhythm and the sky's tumultuous roar? What does it feel like? In that moment, most of us, driven by instinct, yearn for shelter, for solace, for an escape from the chaos that both nature and life can sometimes throw our way. We long to hide, to curl up somewhere, to be safe from the fury outside and the turmoil within. But what if I told you there's another way of seeing this storm? What if I suggested that the truest strength doesn't lie in running from it, but in facing it head-on, in embracing the storm and allowing yourself to get drenched in its raindrops? Imagine standing in the eye of that storm, not fearful, not overwhelmed, but calm, centered, and unafraid. This might sound like madness, a surrender to chaos rather than an attempt at control. But hear me out, for in this act of surrender, there's a profound truth waiting to be discovered. The storm, whether it's the one raging outside or the tempest in our minds, is inevitable. It's a part of life's design. But our reaction to it, our choice of response, that is where the true depth of our strength lies. We have two paths laid before us: to flee or to face, to shrink in fear or to stand tall, to turn away from the storm or to become one with it. Now, many of us are taught to tread the path of avoidance. We learn to fear the storm, to anticipate its arrival, and to shield ourselves against its onslaught. We build walls, we gather resources, we make plans to weather the coming tide. And while these preparations are understandable and often necessary, they also limit our perspective. They frame the storm as something to be feared, battled, and survived. But what if we were to challenge this narrative? What if instead of seeing the storm as an adversary, we viewed it as a teacher, a mentor, a guide? What if we saw it not as a force to be reckoned with, but as an opportunity to grow, to transform, to evolve? This shift in perspective is crucial, for it opens the door to understanding that the storm itself is not the problem. Our resistance to it, our refusal to embrace it, that is where the true trouble lies. Consider the lone tree on a barren hill. It has weathered countless storms throughout its lifetime. Its roots have anchored it to the earth during the wildest gales. Its branches, though sometimes swaying, have never broken under the pressure. Why? Because the tree doesn't fight the storm. It doesn't try to defy the winds or command the rains to stop. It simply stands, rooted in its purpose, allowing the storm to pass through and over it. And in that process, the tree grows stronger, more resilient, more wise. Similarly, we have the ability to weather life's storms, not by fighting them, but by aligning ourselves with them, by surrendering to the flow of existence. When we resist the storm, we put up a struggle, we expend our energy, we weaken our resolve. But when we align ourselves with the storm, we conserve our strength, we maintain our balance, and we emerge transformed. Think of the caterpillar that encases itself in a cocoon. As the world around it changes, as the seasons shift and the weather fluctuates, the caterpillar remains unaffected. It doesn't resist the changes. It doesn't try to control the environment. It simply transforms itself, allowing the external world to mirror its internal evolution. And so, my friends, let us learn from the masters, from the wisest among us, from those who have navigated the storms of life with grace. Let us see the storms not as enemies, but as allies. Let us face them with bravery, with an open heart, and with unwavering resolve. For it is in the depths of these storms that our true strength is forged, tempered, and revealed. This is a channel that brings you the teachings of great minds from various walks of life to inspire and educate. If you find our content valuable, we invite you to join our community. Your support helps us continue sharing these enlightening ideas with the world. Together, we can explore the depths of human potential and the vast realm of knowledge waiting for us to discover. Your mind is the garden of your soul, and what you plant in it will grow into reality. Are you planting seeds of doubt, fear, and worry? Or are you planting seeds of belief, courage, and hope? Your thoughts shape your reality. Choose wisely what you feed your mind. In the grand tapestry of life, each experience, whether joyous or challenging, is a thread that weaves together the fabric of our journey. The storms we encounter, far from being mere disruptions, are threads of growth, resilience, and transformation. Just as a skilled weaver uses both light and dark threads to create a vibrant tapestry, life offers us a similar palette. Our perception of these threads determines their role in our life's tapestry. When we view the storms as negative, as obstacles to be overcome, they become burdens that weigh us down. But when we reframe these experiences, seeing the storms as opportunities for growth, they transform into threads that enrich the fabric of our lives. For instance, the caterpillar, cocooned in its protective shell, undergoes a remarkable transformation. It doesn't resist the darkness or the stillness. Instead, it embraces the cocoon as a space for growth. In that enclosed space, it breaks down, it rebuilds itself, it emerges as a butterfly. Similarly, we too can choose to embrace the storms of life as spaces for our own metamorphosis. Challenges, setbacks, and failures, when viewed through the lens of growth, become stepping stones on our journey. They become threads that connect past experiences with future triumphs. These challenges, far from being dead ends, lead us to new perspectives, hidden strengths, and untapped potentials. When we face a storm, we discover reserves of courage and resilience we never knew we possessed. We learn to adapt, to innovate, and to persevere. We uncover strengths of character that become the defining threads of our life story. Moreover, the storms of life often lead us to seek support, to reach out to others, to build connections that were previously out of reach. In the shared experience of weathering a storm, we forge bonds that become the strongest threads in the tapestry of our relationships. As the legendary Greek poet Homer once said, "No man steps in the same river twice." In the same vein, no one confronts the same challenge twice. Each time we face a storm, we return with the wisdom and strength gained from previous experiences. We bring back the lessons learned, the skills honed, and the resilience cultivated. In essence, the storms of life, when embraced as opportunities for growth, become the very threads that elevate our existence to a higher level of being. They become threads of wisdom, strength, and interconnectedness. They become the very essence of our life's tapestry, reminding us that every experience, whether pleasant or challenging, contributes to the masterpiece that is our life. I want to share with you a story that encapsulates the essence of why the storms in our life are not to be feared, but welcomed. There was a young man who lived in a coastal town. He had always dreamed of becoming a great sailor, of exploring the vast oceans beyond the horizon. But he was afraid of the sea, specifically the storms that would rage across the waves. To him, the storms represented danger, destruction, and unpredictability. He longed for the calmness of a still sea, the predictability of a gentle breeze. However, one day he met an old, weathered sailor who had sailed across treacherous seas and weathered countless storms. The old sailor told him, "The storms are not to be feared, young one, but respected. It is in the storms that the true test of a sailor's skill lies. It is in the storms that the sea reveals its raw power and demands respect. It is in the storms that the ship is truly tested and the crew's loyalty is proven." He continued, "When the storm comes, you must stand tall against the wind. Adjust your sails to catch the gusts and ride the waves with grace. Do not try to outrun the storm. Do not try to hide from it. Face it head on and work with it. For it is in the midst of the storm that you will discover your true strength, your true purpose." These words resonated deeply within the young sailor. He began to see the storms not as obstacles, but as opportunities to test his skills, to expand his comfort zone, and to grow as a sailor. He started to prepare for the storms, to learn navigation techniques, to strengthen his ship, and to train his crew. One day, a fierce storm struck, testing the young sailor's resolve and skills. But he stood tall, guiding his ship through the turbulent waters, adjusting his sails to harness the winds and keeping his crew focused and safe. And as the storm raged, he felt a sense of power, of purpose, and of connection with the natural world around him. In the aftermath of the storm, when the skies cleared and the sun shone brightly, the young sailor looked out over the vast ocean and realized that he had not just weathered the storm, he had grown because of it. He had discovered strengths he never knew he possessed, skills he never realized he had, and a sense of fulfillment that came from facing his fears head-on. From that day forward, he embraced the storms, knowing that they were not curses, but blessings in disguise. Opportunities to test, to grow, and to triumph. In the grand tapestry of life, our storms are the threads that test our resilience, reveal our strengths, and connect us to our deeper purpose. They are the threads that, when embraced, weave together the most meaningful patterns in our life's journey. So, my friends, whenever a storm arises in your life, whatever challenge or setback may come your way, remember the words of the old sailor. Stand tall, face your fears, navigate the winds of change, and ride the waves of uncertainty. For it is in the storms that you will discover your true strength, your true purpose, and your true freedom.